Hello everyone! Today I am making a little bit of an update video about my post-op recovery after my ovarian cystectomy with my dermoid cyst. I originally made a very detailed video about the whole finding out that I had it and the procedure and the post-op. So if you want to watch that, I'll leave a link to that down below. But right now I am 3.5 weeks post-op. So let's start off with my pain. In my last video, I was 1 week post-op, and I definitely was not having pain from the incisions anymore, but I was still having the shoulder pain and the gas pain. My incisions were a little sore around it, because they really expand them open with retractors and things like that, so the muscles were kind of sore. And I'm 3.5 weeks and the muscles are still a little bit sore, if I really press in there, and that's just normal. I mean, that's gonna go away with time. It's nothing that I need to take medication for or anything like that, so I'm not really too concerned about that. I did feel kind of sick. I said that in my last video, so I was still taking ibuprofen and Tylenol on and off when I felt like I needed it. But other than that, my incisions don't hurt. They haven't hurt really ever except the first 3 days post-op. So that's a good thing. The gas did take 10 full days to subside, which I felt like was a really long time. I was not expecting that. I was expecting, maybe 5 days, maybe a week, but 10 days was a really long time, and it was very uncomfortable. I had that shoulder pain. I really was trying to walk and stuff, but when it's that uncomfortable, it's hard to breathe. It's right under your diaphragm. It's hard to breathe. So you don't want to go for a long walk, and the walk kind of irritates your shoulder too. So I was just really trying to be patient. Patience is the best thing that you can do for that. It really sucks, but it does end. So that's just something that you have to deal with. So I did take the simethicone, which is for the gas. I definitely suggest you take that for as long as that you're having gas pain. It can't hurt. There's nothing that it will do negatively, so just take it until you feel the gas pain completely subside. I did decide to stop taking it at around 7 days, but since I was having that gas pain, I started to take it again here and there. But I think maybe if I had taken it all the way through my recovery for the full 2 weeks, or till I stopped having gas pain, maybe that would have been a shorter period. I'm not really sure, but I do suggest taking that. And so they said that my period might be a little bit late, or it might not come at all, and my period was slightly late. I have a really long cycle anyways. I arranged between 31 and 35 days, and my cycle last month was 35 days long. So I mean, for me it's kind of normal, but it was a tiny bit late. And post-op, I'm feeling normal. I don't feel any difference in my personality or my sex drive or anything like that from before surgery and after surgery. I feel pretty good, so it's nothing, no change. I know that was a concern for me, is that maybe it would affect my sex drive or something like that, but it didn't change at all for me. My incisions, I am gonna really show you guys these in a minute after I'm done talking. But I had a little bit of an issue with one of my incisions. So I noticed that one of them was not healing like the other ones. My right one, right where my cyst was not healing like the other ones, and I did end up taking a picture of them and sending them to my doctor, and she said, it looks like you're expelling your stitches. So I personally didn't feel like it looked like that. And it's red around the border, and it had this scab, and the other ones were completely sealed off. I'll show you them what they looked like. but this one is just not healing the same. And I, was told not to mess with it, just put Neosporin on it. Well, I was kind of like letting it go, but I was cleaning it because it was an open, it's a scab, so it's obviously open somewhere. So I was cleaning it with hydrogen peroxide. Don't clean it with alcohol. If you're gonna clean it, just clean it with hydrogen peroxide. And I was doing that like twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And I was putting Neosporin on it. But so it turns out I was expelling a stitch, and that actually completely came out today, and it was disgusting. And I will insert some pictures of that. But basically what happened was I had this scab and it was not going away. So I decided that I was going to, for like 48 hours, I would put Neosporin on and put a band-aid over it, and that would get it nice and moist for this scab to kind of like come out. So I did that, and it did get it nice and moist. And then at this point, like, I didn't know 100% if I had a stitch there. So once it got nice and moist, I kind of realized that, when I went to wipe the Neosporin off after I took the band-aid off, there was a scab. But it wasn't coming off. It was attached to something, and it was attached to the stitch, and it completely expelled this morning, and I actually had to cut it off, and it didn't hurt. It's not really that big of a deal, but my scar on that side is a little bit more intense than my left side, which really does suck, and the healing process has been really slow on that side. And I do have to like point something out. I knew that something was wrong with this about probably 7 or 8 days post-op, because I had the glue and I could tell that I had some blood bubbling underneath the right side, and the other two looked completely normal, and that I ended up picking a little piece of it off, which is naughty, but I did it, and blood came out of it. So I knew that it was bleeding and the other ones weren't, and that was weird because I was 8 days, post-op. So so that was this stitch like trying to expel itself. Basically, I'm just, until this like completely closes up, I'm gonna put hydrogen peroxide on it at least once a day, and Neosporin. I don't plan on covering it back up with the band-aid because it doesn't need to be moist anymore. But I'm gonna show you my belly right now. So let's see. So this is my belly button. It is still really swollen. I'll show you some before and after pictures. They did my incision horizontally instead of vertically. If you have a nice any belly button, you will probably have an incision vertically, and you probably really won't even be able to see it. But mine, since I have this weird belly button, which I'll tell you, it looks a lot weirder than it originally did. This is what they did for me. And I have this little weird skin flap thing over here, not really sure what that is. And I also have some sort of a bubble-ish thing, and I believe that is another stitch trying to expel itself. So over the next couple of days, I think I'll see a stitch come out of that. But all in all, I mean, 3.5 weeks post-op, I think it looks pretty good. It is my largest incision. It's 2 centimeters. And, it should take the full, 6 weeks to really show what it's going to look like, and it can take up to a year to completely look like what it's going to look like. And then my left incision looks really great. I'm going to hope my camera focuses. It looks really great. There's some discoloration around it. When I press on it, I feel a little lumpiness underneath it, but I believe that's the stitches underneath. It just kind of looks like a paper cut. Hopefully my camera focuses. There we go. So it kind of looks like a little bump, but really it's nothing bad at all. And then we go to the problem one, which is my right one, and you can see the redness around it from the band-aid. I have a weird reaction to adhesive, but so this is the one that expelled the stitch. It's open right now. I'm trying to make sure the light's not hitting so you can see, but it's open to, like, it's an open wound, basically, surface wound, so it's not going anywhere important. And that little stitch was hanging out, and I'm gonna insert a picture of it. This one and the left one are 1 centimeter. So I don't think that it's gonna be terrible for a long time, but it is taking a lot longer to heal compared to the other ones. So that's basically my little belly situation. I think I zoomed you guys. Ooh, no, okay, there we go. So yeah, all in all, like, I'm not like happy with how they look, but I don't think I would be whether they looked like this or better. It just kind of sucks. I think that, you know, a year from now, I probably would barely notice them. So, you know, it's only 3.5 weeks. It's going to take a while to completely heal, and it is what it is. So yeah, let's see here. I scheduled my post-operative appointment, which is at the beginning of October, so that's about 6 weeks after my surgery. Oh, I did want to mention to everyone that I am a belly sleeper, and I could not sleep on my belly for about, I think it was about 7 days or 8 days. And even at that 7-day mark, it was really kind of uncomfortable. So that did suck. And I highly suggest wearing stretchy pants around the waist that aren't restrictive for 2 weeks, because that was really uncomfortable. I, like, wearing jeans was very uncomfortable, and it was for about 2 weeks, so just be aware of that. And my mental recovery has been pretty good. I do, like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it like PTSD, but like I still do get really upset that this happened to me sometimes. And it really sucks, and I really did not want to have to go through this. But all in all, like, I'm happy that I did get my cyst out. I think it was the best decision for me. I don't want to have another ovarian torsion, and they did end up saving part of my ovary, so that was really, really good. And I'm glad we did it when we did it, because maybe if I did have another ovarian torsion, they wouldn't be able to save that small section of the ovary that I had left. So I'm glad I got it done. I think with time, like, I still am, like, kind of processing all this. Like, this happened to me in such a quick, like, time frame that I'm still kind of processing it. So I think with time it'll get better, but right now, like, I still do occasionally get, like, upset that this happened to me, which is normal, and I'm not dwelling on it, so it's not a huge deal. But I do want to be open with, like, the emotional recovery, and that it's hard, but it does get better with time. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I have for you guys for updates. So I know that there's not, like, a ton of information out there on dermoid cysts, and that's one of the reasons I made my first video, to educate people. And because of this, it's such a rare thing that people have this. So I really think that if you're comfortable with it, I'd love to hear your story. Please comment on the video. Contact me on Instagram. I'm really open to talking with people. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And you know, this is a very unique thing. So, you know, those few people out there who have it too, it would be really awesome to connect with each other. So share your story. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for watching, and I hope that if you're going through this, that your surgery is a success, and that you recover quickly, and that you're gonna come out of it feeling better than you went into it. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.